when we watch the Flash, it's impossible not to think how it would be to meet ourselves in the past. So what's the one piece of advice you would give to your younger selves?
Wow.
The Flash chegou aos cinemas com o herói mais ligeiro dos quadrinhos para encerrar a fase do universo estendido da DC, que começou lá em 2013 com o Homem de Aço. Nesse filme, a gente acompanha o Barry Allen causando uma zona nas linhas do tempo, enquanto tenta salvar a vida da mãe, que morreu quando ele era criança. O filme é cheio de ação e participações especiais para deixar nosso coração tão acelerado quanto o do Flash. E o AdoroCinema veio aqui na Cinemateca de São Paulo, que conta com o maior acervo de filmes da América do Sul, para conversar com o diretor de The Flash, o argentino Andy Muschietti. E a gente criou o nosso próprio crossover, trazendo também o Daniel Rezende, o editor indicado ao Oscar por Cidade de Deus e diretor dos filmes e da série de Turma da Mônica. Ou seja, de quadrinhos icônicos, esses dois entendem.
Hi.
I love you!
Thank you.
Passing you into Mr. Wayne.
No, please don't.
I need you here now, Barry.
I really enjoy the movie and I like how it works for itself, but also hypes us very much for what's coming next. So how much information did you have about the future of DC while working on it?
No information. While working on
Yeah.
the movie, I had no information. You know, sometimes the architecture of the future of the projects is something that is kept under wraps, and I didn't really need to know much about what was happening after. I just took the projects and rolled with it.
And while having Michael Keaton back was a gift for the fans, how was it for you to work with an actor coming back to a character after so long?
Personally, it was a thrill. It was very thrilling to me to meet, you know, one of my artistic heroes, I would say, which is like an actor like Michael Keaton, but also someone that played Batman before and the Batman.
Yes.
So you have to put away all the worshipping you had for those person and try to understand that person as a human being, because the conversations that you're gonna have are very are about, you know, human problems and stuff, and also there's a relationship of confidence and trust that you, director and actor, have to work on.
So you're saying you could travel back in time?
But Bruce, I can fix things. I could save people. I could save my mom. I could save your parents.
I know Danielle also worked with Michael Keaton.
And it was so funny because I was working on RoboCop and there was Michael Keaton and Gary Oldman. So it was like Batman versions of different multiverse together.
So the multiverse started in that movie.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. I'm Batman.
Danielle, I want to know what's your perception of the Flash, and I'm asking this because I wonder if, as an editor and a director, the technical aspects stays very much in your mind when you're watching a film like this.
Completely. For me, it's impossible to watch a movie. Unfortunately, actually, it's impossible to watch a movie without thinking of all the complexities of the technical stuff. So
It's a curse.
I was watching. First of all, I loved Flash, but I was watching the movie and thinking, how did he do that? It's such a sophisticated movie in the script-wise, and also the way he directed. It's such an accomplishment.
You know, it's a step-by-step thing, as you know, because you're a director as well. Not only a great editor that I admire a lot, because you put together movies that are classics in history, like City of God and Tropa de Élite, which are movies that are incredible to me. And for me, it was like having that kind of resources was great, because it's like, now finally I can like let my imagination free and do whatever I want. And of course, at the end of it, you realize that it doesn't matter how much budget the movie is. You're always never gonna get exactly what you want, because your ambition grows as well. You know, it's a genre where the bar is very high. Probably the most spectacular movies are superhero movies now. the ones that are visually like convey like more and more and more. So you have to basically go over the bar, or at least like, you know, satisfy certain expectations.
I went back in time to save my parents. But instead, I completely broke the universe.
I do have one curiosity. It's like, I understand how I'm dealing with that kind of budget might be, you know, a little bit scary.
Yeah.
But besides that, how do you deal with the responsibility of like recreating a like world famous superhero?
Yeah.
Because that's, for me, it's like trying to get your script. I mean, your vision, your script, the way you want to do it. How do you go to sleep with that responsibility?
Well, strangely enough, there's responsibility here and instincts here. You know, when you start following your instincts, the idea of responsibility starts to fade away, because responsibility brings a lot of stress as well.
Yeah.
I guess that you have to put enough things on your vision to make it heavy enough for you to be excited to go to and bet. It's a bet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make this happen, and find new things that are not even in the script. You know, like the baby shower, the emotional story between the two diaries, all these little things that you put in the movie and that are part of your vision as a director. And now it's about that. It's about fulfilling those expectations instead of the expectations of the fan base, the studio, blah, blah, blah. Of course, one eye is always in the fan base because you want them to enjoy the movie. But if you're not focused on your instincts and your vision of the movie enough, then you will do like some kind of hybrid, and that with fear comes, stress comes, and I think it happens naturally to me. There's a moment where the balance like is all there, and I'm like, diddy, let's have fun.
Wait, he's Batman?
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
I know you're close to the DC universe too, as you directed the Batman podcast. So which superhero would you like to direct in a movie?
Ooh, that's a very interesting question. Maybe the Riddler. Not that much into superpowers.
Yes.
I'm more like into the human, and that's what I love about your movie, because it's a superpower, you know, hero, but you went to the very human, no emotions and problems. And
absolutely. And the truth is that, maybe this is a spoiler, but the Flash doesn't do much with superpowers. Superpowers actually take him to more trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
And eventually he has to use his human, you know, his human skills, his human sensibility and wit to overcome what he's fighting against.
Because I love the Batman, universe, and thank you so much for bringing, Michael Keaton back to us.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. I did it for you, Daniel. But I want to see that movie. Hey, Warner, take notes.
I have to undo what I did.
These scars we have make us who we are. We're not meant to go back and fix them.
I was actually thinking now, what about a time travel live action with Turma da Mônica?
Maybe that would be a very good idea, actually. In a different scale, just bringing Turma da Mônica, in a live action in Brazil, kind of had to deal with the same kind of responsibilities. And in a way, I really feel you when you say like instincts, versus responsibility. Because when I was trying to do, Turma da Mônica in Brazil, instead of thinking about what all the fans would, want, I was focusing in two eyes: the Daniel as a kid, and Maurício de Souza eyes, which is a creator of, Mônica and Friends. If his eyes were like shining, maybe that was the right, way to go. Like the connection with Maurício de Souza was great, and it kind of like made me feel like I was going in the right direction.
I wanted to hear from you a little about Sasha Calle, because I think she's amazing as Supergirl, and soon we'll see Xolo Maridueña and Bruna Marquezine in Blue Beetle. So how do you see the presence of these new Latin American roots in Hollywood?
You know, we live in a multicultural world, and I think that that representation of that in movies is somehow needed and welcome. On the other hand, like the subversion of certain expectations is always good, because you keep you keep the stories alive as you tell them, as you retell them. Multiverse is the multiverse as an idea, as a concept, as a premise, gives us those opportunities. Retell certain stories, rebuilds or represent certain characters with different characteristics or looks or cultural backgrounds.
It's not Clark.
My name is Kara. I will help you.
Interesting group. Want some help?
When we watch the Flash, it's impossible not to think how it would be to meet ourselves in the past. So what's the one piece of advice you would give to your younger selves?
Don't burn the carpet. I've been so immersed in Back to the Future, because there's in the Flash there's a lot to Back to the Future references, and the one that is not there is when Marty McFly tells his dad, be nice to your kid when he burns the carpet when he's 8 years old. So scratch that.
Do you guys ever have kids and one of them, when he's 8 years old, accidentally sets fire to the living room rug? Go easy on him.
I used to go to the movies a lot when I was a kid, and also when I left the movies, just watching The Goonies. I left the movies and I said, I want to make people feel that same emotion that I'm feeling right now. If I could go back and I would just say, continue believing in that. Because if that's what's moving you, it doesn't mean that it's going to work. But fight for it, go for it, believe in it.
I would tell myself probably not to worry and just keep going and do what you like, which I did, but there was a lot of anxiety from the uncertainties and fear, and it all falls into place if you just keep going and keep working on the things that you like. So I'm gonna say that to myself and to every kid watching this.
So just to wrap it up very quickly, based on what you know about James Gunn and Peter Safran's work, what can the fans expect for this new phase of the CU?
A lot of fun, because we know James Gunn's movies and he's a master at that, at entertaining audiences, and a deep love for the characters, and he owns it, and he believes in his instincts and his visions, which is the most important thing. But Peter, I love him. I love the work that he did in the past. So I think it's a great combination and a bright future.
Are you ready?
Ready. Let's go.